So what we have here is a Farmall M head. I've already removed 4 of the valve guides, and I just wanted to show you just a quick setup that seems to work for me, and you don't see much of this on the internet, so I figured people might be interested just to help people out. Now, getting the angle right, because what you need to worry about is your press ram needs to be right in line with your valve guides. You try and have any angle to that at all, it's probably not going to end well for you. So here's a handy tip. We've got aluminum felling wedges, and they've got the teeth to keep them from popping out of a frozen tree. And I put them upwards so they bite into the 2x6, or this might be a 2x8, that you use to prop up your head, and it helps out getting the proper angle so that way all your valve guides are directly parallel with your ram. Now, don't mind this first valve guide here. I was trying to pop them upward from the opposite side of the engine, and come to find out that's actually I don't recommend it, just because of the possibility of any kind of grit or carbon buildup. You're trying to drive any dirty end through a clean bore. You'd rather drive the nice clean ends that were protected under the valve cover, not exposed to carbon. You want to drive the clean oiled ends down through. Granted, there's a little bit of surface rust, a little grit from years of moisture and bad crankcase ventilation, but it always will go down easier than it will popping back up. But this is just a little benchtop 10-ton dake. I mean, there's not much to this. You could use a bottle jack ram and don't take much pressure. Once you get the first pop, it's a little nerve-wracking because you think you might take a little cast iron with it, but she goes. And this is just a Craftsman Allen wrench socket. All you're looking for is something that's going to easily fit down into the bore and not wedge itself in, but it's going to have a nice square shoulder, so that way when you put it on there, you want it to be centered, self-centering, and that's good enough. It will not walk one way or the other to catch on the bore as it goes pressing down through. Once you get that started, it's really not that hard on the pressure gauge. I mean, once it 2,000 or 3,000 psi, and then she pops, and then it hangs out around 1,000 psi. This is actually a Farmall M kerosene head, so just be aware. I mean, gases, you're going to be looking at different valve lengths and deck heights, or I should say the mating surfaces are going to be different as far as the distance from the head to the top of the combustion chamber. That makes really no difference. Just making sure that you do a good eyeball on your wedges and align your ram parallel to your socket or whatever pushing adapter you're going to use. I'm going to set the phone down here and give you a quick demonstration of one push. I don't have anything fancy here, just using tools on hand. Luckily, I have a pretty nice press. Not everybody has a nice ram over. A lot of people have bottle jack presses, but a press is a press. Don't mind the background, I am working out of a barn. And as you get closer, if we have to, we will move the head inward a little further. Just because I like to be, anything I press, I try to be dead center of the ram as best as possible. So we're going to build a little pressure here. Another phone, because it will pop. And there's the pop. once you move it, that first time, we're looking at like 1400 psi, barely working a press. This is a 10-ton press. We're only putting maybe 1,000 pounds or so on it. The initial pop is scary, but don't worry about it. She'll move. Bring it down until the ram touches. Unfortunately, it's not enough because of the length of that socket to be able to pop it all the way through. And there's enough of a combustion chamber on this kerosene head. And we're making contact there. You can feel a little resistance extra in the handle. Back it off. You can see that the socket has plenty of wiggle room. Just wait for the ram to retract. Just a little 3/8 3-inch extension. Don't need a special. I was watching on the internet. Everybody's got basically these hammering punches, and they're just wailing away on a bench with a 8x8 underneath the head, and they're just hammering away. I'm actually trying. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I'm trying to reuse these in another head that I have. These guides are in excellent shape, and there's no slop. This valve train has been gone through before. This head, unfortunately, is a newer head. It's one series newer, and there it goes. It pops, falls out. So the guide is now down in the combustion chamber. So it's a little bit of a balancing act, and it's a pain in the ass to get it out. As far as lifting the head, trying to do this all, if you had a lifting mechanism or a trolley, overhead, or anything like that, it would be really easy. But that's really all there is to it. It works, pops it down. You got to do a little balancing act, because I've got the other end supported with a screw jack, just to keep this from tipping one way or the other. This is just a benchtop unit. The benchtop unit is just on a chintzy little table, and I don't have it bolted down, so it's kind of actually self-leveling. If I was not perfectly perpendicular to the jack, it would self-level. It would pick the legs off the table and upright itself if it had to push down or pick up on the head to self-level itself. But like I said, some aluminum felling wedges. It's either a 2x8 or a 2x6. Eyeball it as best you can, parallel. A little bit of pressure and pop, she goes. This one's out of the 40s. The one that I'm going to put these guides into are originals out of like 1939 is the engine I'm putting it into. So, yeah, just figure I'd share it. Thanks for watching.